for lies. Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Magda, pero, you know,
Yeah.
esos ojitos.
Normal behavior.
Are we live? Are we live?
Okay, I'm going to behave.
It's
Manda, mira el
Monday.
teléfono.
We are live. We are
It is
live.
Monday,
Así.
guys.
Yeah.
Happy Monday. Good
Happy
morning.
Monday,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Good
Happy
morning.
How was the weekend for everybody?
Manda,
Good.
I had a great weekend. I really enjoyed my weekend.
Happy Monday. Good.
We have a big win-win with the
We
back to
did.
school
Can we
Yes.
talk about that big win?
event.
Yes,
That
go
was
ahead.
amazing.
Let's start off with
All
the
right, let's start with the big win. The big win of the week, guys. That back to school event was such an amazing, successful event. It was one of the biggest one that we had ever done and Nonat and Premiere. I want to thank everyone for all your contribution, all your hard work, everybody who show up, who donate. Thank you so much. I mean, doing this partnership with Team Premiere, Nonat, and Evolution Network, we really took this to the next level. Our goal was 100 backpack. We ended up with 175. And what amazing day. We have a hot dog, we had food, seeing all those little kids coming in, picking up the favorite colors. It was such a blessing. We had an amazing time. We were able to distribute 130 backpacks on Saturday in just less than 2 hours. And one of the local churches in the community saw the video that we were doing and reached out to me and said, "Hey, Priscilla, I have about 50 kids who don't have a backpack for Monday." And I met with him yesterday and I was able to deliver those backpacks to the church. And what a blessing, guys. I want to once again thank everyone for all the support. Everybody, like, again, that was there, even if you were there, but you contributed, you shared the post. All of you guys, thank you so much. This makes a difference, and this is why we are making this as a bigger community, unifying ourselves to be able to bring all this amazing stuff. So thank you again, guys. That's the biggest win that I had in the whole year. I want to say thank you.
Yeah, that was an awesome
It was a really
event.
good event. It was really good. A lot of kids showed up. That's really good. Well, today we are starting the week Monday. Mindset Monday. Mindset Monday. So hopefully everybody had an amazing weekend. So let's start the week off strong. And today we really have a good topic for you today. But before we do, we got a couple of quick announcements. First, we want to go ahead and thank La Rosa Realty for offering us the best platform to be able to do these things. So Priscilla, you're La Rosa. So tell me what's going on. What's La Rosa doing right now?
Well, we're doing an amazing stuff. La Rosa Realty, Nona, and Premier, like I said, is here to support you and to help you. So we always have, always raising the bar to the next level. So I welcome you guys to come and join our office, to come and see all the trainings that we offer every week. So every Wednesday we had trainings at La Rosa Realty Premier, and on Thursday at Nona. So highly recommend you guys to join us. We have an Eventbrite link for you guys to be able to participate. Some of the events on company wise, we have, if you guys know, it's coming up the Realtor Convention. It's going to be on the 24th and 25th, I believe it is, this month. It's a Monday and Tuesday. So if you guys have not yet registered, highly recommend you to register. And the after party that we have every year, Agent Appreciation. Appreciate you guys for all you guys do. So go ahead and go into my agent account and register for Agent Appreciation. Is going to be on Mango's International Drive at 5 p.m. on the 26th. So I hope you guys to see you there. And again, thank you, Evolution Network, to allow me to be part of this amazing community.
Awesome.
We work hard, but we like to party.
Yes.
We like to party inside.
And what she said about registering for the convention, please register, because if not, you're going to be waiting in a long line to register if you get there, if you didn't register. So everybody knows we have Jaque Mate Mobiliario coming up soon in August 21st and August 22nd. So I'm going to let Miss Cheryl Cootie explain a little bit what's going on with Jaque Mate.
Sure. Hi, guys. So as you know, the market is changing. And because the market is changing, we need to adapt and we need to evolve with it. And that's why Evolution Network is putting this event together. It's not an event, it's the event. Because in this event, you guys are going to be able to transform not only your business also your life. And the reason why is because they're bringing amazing speaker, not local speaker. We're gonna have people from Spain, from Argentina, from Mexico, from different places around the world. That is gonna give us why we need to stop chasing the transaction, and we need to focus in working and having our business with purpose, with a vision, with the right strategy, so you can take it to that next level that you want to see it. In this amazing event, you're going to be able to connect with real people that are looking to be in the same place where you want to be. Also, I promise you, I give you my word, that you're not going to listen for the same thing that you will listen the whole year. It's going to be completely different, completely different. And you're going to be able to break those limiting beliefs. You're going to be able to redesign your mentality, or how you want and how you should run your business. So I can see you there, because it's going to be amazing. I already got my tickets, as you
Yeah,
might imagine.
all
Oh,
of
yes. I
But
have mine too.
but for those who haven't, we have amazing news for you guys. And just for being here, Caesar, can you tell them more of what we got for those people who are here today with us?
Well, for everyone that's here, we got a beautiful coupon for everybody now.
Ooh.
We have a coupon that if you use today, you are going to go ahead and get $100 off any of both tickets, either general admission or the VIP ticket. And the coupon code is Caesar. And no, it's not my name. It's not because of
It
me.
is, Caesar.
Yes, it is, my friend.
It's because it's going to be Cesar Val. I'm not going to claim that. Cesar Val is one of the main speakers at the Jaque Mate. And if you use that coupon, it is going to be $100 off for either general admission or the VIP tickets.
And by the way, on the VIP ticket, it has, I would suggest, by the way, I didn't have that ticket when I bought it. So you should take advantage of that. Guys, you're going to be able to sit at the front, being next to those amazing speakers. Also, you're going to be able to have a welcome ticket. You're going to have lunch for the 2 days, because it's 2 days event, the 21st and the 22nd of August, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Also, you're going to be able to go to the after party. All of us going to be there. The after party is going to be amazing. And you're going to have 10% off if you want to be in any other workshop from those amazing speaker who's going to be here. So I will highly recommend you to go to the VIP, because it's going to come with amazing package included on it. And the 10% is for that, right? The 100% is for VIP as well. So
yes, as well, yes.
Yes.
Yep. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you so much. Thank you for the team, to all of us coming on every Monday, coming here, bringing value, and especially for our special guest that we're going to introduce in a minute. But let's talk about what we're going to discuss today, which is setting the bar and raising your standards in life and business. That is the topic, and that is something that I've been going through. We all gone through transitions of trying to set better standards, because the thing is that in life and in business, we don't get what we wish for. We get what we're willing to work for. And that starts with the standard that we're going to set for ourselves. You know, the standards that we set for our work, for our relationship, for our health, for our future will determine how far we go. And the thing is that, coming from experience, all of us been there probably. We've sometimes set the bar too low. And when we set the bar too low and don't push and stretch ourselves to where we want to go, growth doesn't happen. Because the thing is that the growth happens when we raise the bar high enough for us to continue stretching and really going after what we're wanting to achieve. And today's guest is someone that lives by that mindset and of setting the bar. Because the reason why this topic came up is because that is her quote, that is her line that she uses on her social media, setting the bar. And not just for herself, but for everyone around her. Just a quick background on her. She is a powerhouse in Central Florida real estate community. She is the #1 title insurance representative in Florida, a business development executive with Fidelity National Title, and a seasoned investor with over 22 years of experience across real estate, spectrum from multifamily management and sales, title, and education. But what really, really, truly sets her apart isn't just her results and her mission. She has coached and she's mentored professionals over the last 20 years, helping agents and brokers and entrepreneurs grow their business through proven systems and intentional branding and powerhouse relationship building, which is super important in real estate. She is known for her energy. She has extreme energy. She has a lot of energy, which I've seen already. She has a lot of creativity, and her belief that when you shift from chasing transactions to building trust, you change everything. Remember, people, we are in a business that is relationship. And the moment we make that shift in our mind, that is 100% true that we're gonna be attracting the business versus chasing it always. So she's helped thousands through live seminars, interviews, and trainings, and she's here with us today to challenge us to raise our own standard, to set the bar higher, and to lead with excellence in both our business and our personal lives. So I want to go ahead and introduce Giselle Fernandez. Let me put her here on the camera. Giselle, welcome. How you doing?
Welcome, Giselle.
Welcome.
What production? I'm like, what?
How you doing this
For
morning?
a minute there, I'm not gonna lie.
Say that again.
I was kind of impressed with myself for a minute there. I'm not gonna lie.
Sometimes we have to hear it because sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit sometimes, and we forget everything we've accomplished because we're always stuck in the everyday routine. But sometimes we need to hear it.
No, I would agree with that. And it's exactly what you're saying, right? We're always focused. We're always moving forward. We're always doing different things. And sometimes maybe you should take a minute to reflect, right? Reflect on all that you've done, because let's talk about the reality of mindset. I think in this business, we have to continue on a daily basis to be excited about what we do. And we were speaking a little bit earlier. I mean, it's kind of, the reality of our situation is that there's so much freedom in what we do. It can be very dangerous, and you can find yourself, going through different lulls. So how do you create structure for yourself to do things properly, to make sure that you flourish, you continue moving forward? And also, what's your bounce back? You know what I mean? I have a great bounce back rate, because the reality is like, do I get tired sometimes? Yes. But can I create structure for myself, standards for myself that I know I'm going to get back on that horse ASAP? Absolutely. Right?
That's awesome. I wrote that down earlier when you mentioned that too much freedom is dangerous, because sometimes when we come into the business, and of course we're self-employed and we have all the time in the world, and we think, oh, phone calls are gonna come in, I'm gonna start making money, and then you start liking that freedom, and then you start doing things that are not related to real estate and not making any money, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, 3 or 4 months down the road, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? I need to shift. That is
right. You get very comfortable, and you can get forgetful, and you can forget what it was that you had to do in the first place to get you to where you were going.
That is so true. That is so true.
We see that a lot. I get agents all the time that like, I don't know how to fall off the track. And I feel like we had to check our daily goals, hourly goals, like what I'm trying to do for this hour that I want to accomplish before 12 noon, like, having your schedule set up. That's
no, definitely piggyback on that even more so. I've had some agents that I'm so proud of that have really, taken in some of the things I've shared. Next thing you know, they're making a lot of money. And then guess what happens? They forget that it's almost like being a school teacher. Back to school today, right? Let's use that as an example. School teachers, they don't get paid during the summer. So then they have to budget accordingly, right? So we also have to remember to be, good stewards of our money, because, we don't know when that next paycheck is going to hit. So you could be doing phenomenal, but all of a sudden you could go through a dry spell. So you can't go too wild spending and celebrating all the time. You have to have good, again, structure, balance, and standards for what you're doing.
That's so true. So just I got a quick question.
Sure.
Give us a quick overview of what do you do on a daily basis, and at the same time, why is setting the bar has been such a defining part of your journey? Tell us why that is your tagline, because this is the topic that we're going to discuss today. So tell us a little bit what you do, and give us an idea of why setting that bar is so key and important, especially because that's your tagline.
It's so fun because the first thing that I want to say is almost like, if you're not first, you're last. Okay. So I'm competitive. I like to have that kind of an attitude. And if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right. And I want to do it all the way. So I want to set the bar. I want to be the person that sets an example, right, of working with integrity. And I feel like I do a very good job of doing that. And I feel like that's why I was able to grow so quickly in title period, but in business, in real estate, in my life, I've always flourished, anything that I've ever wanted to achieve because I follow up and I follow through. And I think that's exactly, you know, the mindset again that you have to have. So you want to set the bar, you want to be the person. And here's the thing, if I decide that that's who I am, then that is, you know, what others will believe that I am. So if I'm a leader and I present myself as a leader, people will take me in as a leader. If I'm the best real estate agent on the planet and I believe that in my soul, that means that's what, you know, I will be, and you will, right? So what do I do on a daily basis? I support real estate agents in whatever their goals are that they're trying to achieve. And thank goodness I have a lot of personal experience in real estate. Again, 22 total years in real estate. I could barely even believe it. But yeah. And I started super young, but, you know, I always loved it because I always felt like, you know, the world is your oyster in what we do. And I love that there's always a new opportunity, a new adventure, and I'm never bored. So multifamily management for lots and lots of years, like I was saying. So property management, I understand all that. And then I started investing in real estate here in Florida about 7 years ago. Now I own 6 homes. The most recent home that I purchased was for my mom. And that was a really big deal for me.
Yes.
You know, so setting those goals and wanting to do things. So, you know, when I talk to agents, I can actually speak your language because I do it, right? So that's important to me. So, and I also like to, you know, encourage everyone to understand that I can do it, therefore you can do it. There's nothing setting anybody back from being able to achieve whatever they want to do. So again, it's just a matter of deciding what your goal is and then creating the standards for yourself to frame it out so that you do it.
Awesome. I love that. I'm going to go back to something you said that, you know, that you have to really truly believe the role that you're playing pretty much, whether it's a leader or not, because that's something we talk about here a lot, which is, you know, someone's always watching. And even with the way our system works here is, you know, you're supposed to do the best all the time. And at the same time, you know, understanding where you're headed, that way you can know what your GPS, where you're supposed to go, where are you supposed to be at. That way you can fall into that role, you can fall into that. And if you're working with excellence and integrity, people are going to be watching, people are going to get attracted to you, people are going to start asking you questions, and that's like number one thing for growth there. That is the number one thing. And I love that you said that, you know, that someone's always watching.
Yeah, attracting that energy, right? Having that high energy, that's something very important. Like, how do you keep the energy? I know Norma is one of them and this team, but to keep that high level energy all the time, even when things are not going the way we want to go, how do you work that out? 'Cause I need some of that this Monday.
Because I was watching myself.
I'm gonna tell you what, the reality is, and not everybody knows this about my story. I've always been a happy person. I'm not going to lie, right? Beautiful family, great outlook on life, like such a blessing. I was born into that, right? That's a huge blessing. Thank you to God, right? But unfortunately, when I was 30 years old, I became very ill. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. And I started getting these really bad migraines to the point where it actually put me out of work. When I tell you guys, I was debilitated as a result of how sick I became. I was out of work for about 4 or 5 months with these horrible migraines and in and out of the emergency room. And actually the medications that the different doctors were feeding me caused me to this day still have permanent vision loss. I actually have something called visual snow, where everything I see 100% of the day is like static, like on a TV through my vision. And I actually lost my hearing during that window of time as well. Something called hyperacusis. It's a fight or flight mode that your system gets into when you become so ill. Sometimes your body reacts that way in a protective state. And so it actually protected my hearing with these migraines, which was kind of wild. I never heard of it until it happened to me. And so, you know, when I got so sick, I had to learn truly, you know, how to be healthy, how to manage my stress, because at that time I was already running 450 units with a staff of like 15 people. And we were doing renovations on a project. And then in my personal life, unfortunately, you know, I allowed a man into my life that was not a good man. And that affected me. And I share that very transparently because a part of your success is surrounding yourself with healthy, successful mindset type people. right? And so if you involve yourself, and especially, you know, for myself, unfortunately, the person supposed to be closest to me, that was a negative influence like that, plus work. And next thing you know, your whole life is imbalanced. So I became very ill as a result of stress. And therefore I learned doing things to create a daily healthy, you know, schedule. So I wake up early. I'm on schedule with how I sleep. I eat very well. I eat very clean. You know, all those things equate to success. And I think that's something very important to share. And also to always remember that I don't care what depths of the low you're in. I promise you could always get back. And so I essentially lost everything. I was living in California, moved to Florida, started fresh, took a 50% pay cut to get my foot in the door to get a job. When I moved here, had to move in with my parents, changed my life, but
Wow.
I saved every penny I had, didn't get my nails done, didn't go shopping, and I saved up for a down payment on my very first home. And I was able to get a 2-bed, 1-bath at the time. And then I got a 203K construction loan, which made it into a 3-bed, 2-bath. And I built over 1,000 square feet, lived the dream of an HGTV situation. And that was my first investment property. So, you know, rinse and repeat, moved on. And obviously now we're at 6. But when I tell you that, you know, life can be tough. And again, it was surrounding myself with positive people, doing healthy things to feed my body, which then fed my energy. So now today, how could I not be happy? I'm alive and I'm healthy.
That's amazing.
Oh man, that's
Wow.
an amazing
Wow,
story.
wow.
That's a great
Congratulations.
story.
That is an amazing story, because the thing is that when I love hearing stories like that, because it just shows, you know, how much behind that we don't see, because most people only see just the front. They only see just your experience and everything you've accomplished, but there's so much history there that's the real story right there. That's the one that actually makes the transformation, that helps people when they hear that, wait a minute, and they start evaluating their life. Wait a minute, it's not that bad. There's always someone out there that's probably dealing with something worse. But that is something that I love, that story, because it's definitely inspiration in a way that, you know, can help all of us, including myself, you know, really, no, wait a minute. We got to continue moving. She made it. She did it. She's still doing it. Let's continue moving forward. So I love that story. I love that.
I think Tony Robbins has an exercise where he talks about how we are like a car with 4 wheels, and each of the wheels represent an area of our life. And
Yeah.
including, you know, the financial, the, you know, having the family, work, and what we do on our time off. And I love that exercise because you go ahead and measure yourself where you at in each of those. And then after we did that whole exercise, then he came back, he was like, okay, so where do you have a low pressure, or where you're flat? And then the idea with it is, if the car, all 4 wheels are not aligned, you can't run smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a flat tire, it could be a flat tire in financial, it could be a flat tire and not getting time off for your family. So how can you change that tire to be able to run straight, smooth, and be able to be successful in life? And I live like that. That little exercise that was only like 10 minutes long, it changed my life. And I had to every week sit down and be like, okay, how was my alignment this week? Where did I invest more time and less time? What did I need to do to be able to get this car back on the highway and making sure that we run smooth? So loving, thank you for sharing that, because like Cesar said before, a lot of people don't see the behind the scene and all the work that we got to do. Well, we cannot pour from an empty cup. So we definitely had to be able to attend to things like this, attend to mindset, be able to change that mindset so we can continue smooth and be able to be successful. But thank you very much for sharing that.
You said something so key: surrounding yourself, proximity. That's the one thing that we talk about a lot here, because, you know, I can't even imagine everything that you were going through in that moment. But the moment you start surrounding yourself, it's just something that's automatic. It's something that happens when you're surrounding yourself with people that I'm a big believer in saying that you always need someone ahead, you need people on the sides, and then you need someone when you're ready behind to hold you accountable as you're pulling them up as well. Of course, if they allow themselves to. But having that person ahead is some way that you can always have a role model that you're always looking forward to, and kind of have a role model to look up to, and the people on the side that you support people. The people that are on the same mindset, that are on the progressive thinking of moving forward, and then the ones behind are the ones that are you're holding on to, bringing them up and holding you accountable to the standard that you're setting for yourself now. and as well for the standard that you want to achieve with the persons in front of you. So I love following that and hearing these stories. It's just amazing of how those little changes, just surrounding yourself with the right people, can make such a difference in your
And
life.
deleting the
and
wrong
mindset.
ones, Caesar. It's like
Yeah.
check, delete. That's
Say again?
to
Correct.
delete the wrong ones.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Remember, the thing is that people that are not aligned, two things are gonna happen. Either one, they're gonna line up with you, or they're gonna fall behind. But you just gotta make sure that you do not fall behind with them. So I got a
That's
thing with
true.
I got a question, because I know when I hear stories like that, it's just, to me, it's so inspirational. But like, what was that one thing that you say that you did it consistently, that, because being at that point in that state of mind, thinking everything is happening, everything is going down, everything's kind of not in the manner that you would hope to be, and what was that one thing that you were doing that actually made all the difference, that really helped you in those down moments? Because I know sometimes we all deal with our down moments, and those are the tough ones. So, what's that one thing you can tell everyone here on YouTube and on the Zoom here? What's that one thing that you could do to kind of help you get out of that down moment when you are in?
I knew that you need to lean into the tools that you know are available to get you out of a funk. And if that means you're going to go to Twisty Treat and have a delicious ice cream to put you in a better mood. And
I
then,
did that the other day. Oh my gosh.
and
Trust
like
me.
go see my nephew. And I know that he brings me joy, and I can giggle and play with him for a little bit, right? And it takes me out of a bad headspot. And then also, starting to get active in the things I know that give me my little wins. You don't need to always achieve huge wins. Sometimes you just need little wins. So if I know that I'm going to say that I'm going to dedicate, 30 minutes to prospecting, even if it could be as little as 30 minutes, but if I follow through on pursuing that little goal that I set for myself and I accomplish it, well, then I'm proving to myself that I am capable and I can, and it reinforces that positive energy. And then you feel good, and then you want to keep it moving. And so if that means I'm going to go to the gym because I know it's going to make me feel good, then I'm going to do that. And if I know that I should listen to Tony Robbins because it's going to put me in a good headspace, and that's what I need to do. You guys need to be responsible. Poner de tu parte. I remember my mom yelling at me when I was very sick. Pon de tu parte.
Yeah.
Because it was hard. There was some times because it was exhausting, and it took me a long time to get better. And I did get depressed, and I did get sad, because it's like, God, why? I'm such a good person. I try so much. Like, why? Why can't I just feel better yet? Right? It's a funny story, and I'll add.
Use the chancleta.
Yeah, right. But it's funny, you guys. I don't, and it's funny that I'm even talking about this right now, but I also believe that sometimes believing in something bigger than yourself, and that doesn't necessarily need to mean God, but it can mean family. When you make it about we and not about me, that will push you to motivate you to do bigger things. But I will tell you, I did cry to God when I was very sick, and I go, God, why? Why aren't you helping me? And I swear to you, I believe in miracles, because my tia came over and she put holy water on me. And it was the next day that I got on a plane to move to Florida and be with my family,
Oh,
because
wow.
it was months of me not doing well. And so it's like a little fun story, right? And believe or not believe, and it just doesn't matter. I think continue to take the point of making it about something bigger than yourself will keep you motivated.
That's awesome. That is awesome, because those little wins are the ones that count. And those are the little things that sometimes we take so much for granted that we don't feel that is pushing us to the bigger picture. And sometimes if we don't have a bigger picture, then we don't even know what the little things are taking us to. and then we don't even do them. And that's the thing. Like, is that whole compounding and stacking on top of each other, it adds up little by little. But we just have to stay focused. Like you mentioned, we have to take full responsibility with our actions and things that we're doing, so we can go ahead and compound and stack on top of that. And then it will take us and understanding where we're headed, and that's the whole part of believing in something bigger than you. It's not just about me. It's about something bigger than what we are, than us. And
Do it for your kids.
Yeah,
Do it for your mom.
Yeah, it could be anything. Something that really pushes you to be something much bigger. That's so important, that why. And we talk about this all the time when it comes to having understanding your why. making sure the activities and taking full responsibility for our actions. Because sometimes I think we all fail at that, taking responsibility for our actions. Priscilla, you have your hand up?
No, taking on that, not only we don't celebrate the little wins, I call it at home, smell the roses, no matter how small is the win, like you said. It could be like, for instance, getting up at and be ready to be in this call at 8 a.m. That's a win.
Yes.
A lot of us say, you know, it's Monday. Today, I call it, everybody say, oh, happy Monday. I call it happy no kids at home day. So it's a win. It's celebrate. Kids are healthy. They're going back to school. We're getting back in track and that real estate. And if you don't have kids, you still have a win that you actually hear. You're trying to help yourself to block some of those negative mindset and be able to get into the next level. So this win here today that we have about 21 people watching us on YouTube and 20 something here, celebrate it. Say thank you for being here. Thank you for participating, because again, that's huge. It's huge for us.
Thank you for sharing the story. Thank you so much for sharing the story. Now, I got a question in regards to this. Let's go talk about the real estate, because I know since everybody in here is in real estate, what are you seeing agents doing in the sense of setting their bar way too low, and how it has affected their business? I know we kind of talked about it, but what are some of the things that agents are doing that one, they're setting themselves too low, and at the same time, what are some of the things that we can start shifting to, and some hints in regards, or some helpful tactics on how to shift into the real estate activities that we should be doing. That way we can all be successful in real estate.
So real estate is something that's always changing. It's evolving. Okay. To be successful in real estate, you have to understand what's currently happening in real estate, which means educating yourself. And if it turns out that it's not a seller's market anymore, well, then you better figure out how to represent buyers. Okay. So it's one of those things where at the end of the day, there's always money to be made. It's just a question of how. So when agents are failing, it's because they are so caught up in just worrying about something that has a solution. I mean, stop thinking negatively. There's a solution to everything. You could always pivot. And I think you need to remember that this business is fluid, and you need to be surrounding yourself again with positive people that are doing positive things. Sure. Did somebody say something? Sorry. Somebody have a question? Sorry. Okay. So I feel like the agents that are failing right now are the agents that are saying, oh my gosh, I was the #1 listing agent. Now the listings are sitting for so long, and now I don't know what to do. Well, go cultivate buyers. Start, figuring out what we're going to do that. And, I teach all kinds of things all the time. One of the things I teach to agents is how to farm an apartment building. Everybody's a renter. Or I can teach you how to farm absentee owner homes, right? So tomorrow I can pull a list of everybody who's an absentee owner of a home, and we can do direct mailers to the actual house, because everyone living in that house is a renter. Why are you paying your landlord's mortgage? I'd like to know, and also all the time, one of my favorite things I've recently heard was, you think 7% is high until you realize that your landlord paid 7% for the home that you're renting and you're paying the mortgage on.
Ooh, I love that one.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you what,
repeat that.
Two of my homes that I own, I bought at 7%, and people were looking at me sideways. And guess what? Look at me sideways all you want. One of them has made me $150,000 in equity in 2.5 years. Okay. And I cash flow about $900 a month on that property.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
It's in Winter Park off of Fairbanks, baby. Off market. Okay. Off market. It was a 2-bed, 1-bath and a 1-bed, 1-bath, kind of like a duplex setup or whatever. Great deal, right? Deals exist. They're out there. And people were always like, what are you doing getting a 7%? I was like, I don't pay attention to the noise. I just keep moving forward and do me. That's it. So another thing, don't pay attention to the noise.
That's awesome. Wow. That's incredible.
We get that a lot from a lot of agents, where they, they get that mentality of the rate is too high. That said, the real estate market is going down. Same thing what happened when the lockdown with COVID, that a lot of agents decided just to leave the business And some of us decided just to put our boots on and go out there on the ground and be able to make some money. And the one that I gotta say, 2020 was like one of my best year in my career.
Love that.
So many people did not want to go out. They were scared, they were concerned. And I get the concern and the scare, but sometimes we got to break that fear and just keep going and show up. And I'm seeing a lot of realtors, not only on that 2020 and 2008, on that whole era where everybody was going bankrupt, and so many agents still shift that mentality and make tons of money. So I feel like every season there is a market for it.
Yes,
And right
there
now we
In
just gotta target, like
2020.
you say, the buyers.
Yeah, you're right, Priscilla. In 2020, I got all my designations. What is the other one? The designation is the other ones. All the designation I have: sellers, buyers, relocation, foreclosure, short sales, everything. I went out with my mask. I have so many. Oh my gosh, I have mask with feathers, with flowers, everything. I went out with mask, gloves, the
Hand
soap,
sanitizer.
the hand sanitizer. I go
alcohol.
out with my letter of essential worker.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did a lot of deals.
That's the way to do it.
You know, and the
I
funny
remember-
thing is, I love hearing that, because I was one that stayed home. I didn't do anything. I didn't want to. I
You were
stayed
so
home.
afraid.
And I love hearing those, because it's like, wow, such a difference in mentality. And like in that moment, I have my personal things that were happening, but it was just I was not the one out there. I went out when I had to or whatever, but I saw the effect of my business. So you can see the different stories. But I wanna recap the things that go ahead, Norma.
No, okay. I remember I wake up every day at 7 o'clock. I dress up like this. Yeah, I go out with my husband, my ex now. Said, where are you going? Digo, to take my Zoom classes. Yeah, I got all the recognition, everything by Zoom every day. If not, I go out. You need to embrace and adapt. It's nothing you can do with a 2020. But
That's the right way.
What can I do?
That's the right way.
The
Yep.
business.
She
work.
pivoted,
Class,
right? She
embrace and
learned
adapt.
Zoom. Who knew how to use Zoom before COVID?
Yes,
Really, none of
yes.
us. I mean, we
I
were
know.
on Zoom. Now we
That's
all
so
are using Zoom right now, right?
I remember
That's
the
so true.
the wine party at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night
On Zoom.
by Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, I know I have some hands up really quick, but I want to recap what she said, because that's something that I love when others are saying it. It's not just us, because we've talked about this so many times. She mentioned currently understanding what's going on in the market is so important, that there's always money to be made. Now the difference is
Always.
always the question that we have to ask is how. That is that big why, that how we're gonna make that money. But understanding this, if you seem to understand what's going on in the market now, okay, what's the money to be made now and how we're gonna do that. Then understanding that we are in a fluid business, that having a fluid business, that means that is always changing. It can change in any moment. It can go up and down. It can go up, down, sideways. It don't matter. But understanding that part, it all works together. And then the most important, I think, is the one that we all struggle with is the noise. We got to stop listening to the noise, because if not, it's just something that is not going to do us good, not only for our mindset, for our business, for everything. And if our mindset's messed up, then everything else kind of goes down the drain there and down the drain. So I know we have some hands up. Magda, you had your hand up first.
Yes. No, you're right. And sometimes we just get stuck and don't do what we're supposed to do because we're afraid, but we got to do it, because we see a lot of people that, like Giselle, look what happened with her. If she kept to be in the same place and not move forward, she maybe will be over there now. And now looking what she's doing, changing lives and doing a lot of work and having investments. So it's very important to keep going. And I have a question for Giselle. Like, Giselle, do you know someone like in real life that decided to dream big and now have a different result than what they have before? Like and say what changed, what was their mindset how they change and now they got a big result? Do you have that? Do you know someone?
So, I've seen a lot of different friends throughout the years make different choices, and people around me make different choices. And I've seen some people go down a good path and some people go down a bad path. And it's kind of wild for me to think, and now I'm just speaking from the heart, with this question. It's interesting. I grew up with certain friends, let's just say from high school, and I'm very loyal and I'm old school and I like to keep my same friends for years and years and years. But I think it's interesting as I've, gotten older and I've, really taken in my thoughts about surrounding myself with good people, that when I've seen some people start living their lives in a way that I don't necessarily agree with, ways that are unhealthy, ways that are just not aligned with healthy values, I've had to, unfortunately, separate myself from some of those people. And I think it's sad. And I think that it's their lesson and process to go through. And I can only say so much to help motivate somebody before they have to kind of maybe learn something bad on their own.
Mhm.
And on the opposite side of that, I have seen a friend of mine whose father was a drug dealer. We went to high school together, and she could have been a victim of that. And instead, she chose to live an opposite life and use the example of her father's poor choices to make positive choices for herself. And what's fun about her, she's actually the person that got me into property management. When at the time, I think I was working at In-N-Out Burger. I was super young, or like 16 years old, and then she was working there with me. And then eventually she got a job at a bank. And at that bank, there was somebody making a lot of really large deposits. And she goes, "What do you do for a living that you make so many large deposits?" And they say, "Oh, I do property management." And she's like, "I want a job." So then after she got in, she brought me in. Now she's a regional manager. She's married. She has 3 kids. She has a beautiful home. I see her traveling all the time, and her father, after being released from jail, didn't have a place to go. She helped him to kind of rehabilitate and help him to get on his, own feet. So, I think everybody has a choice. It's up to you.
What a great
Oh, wow.
story. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
amazing story.
Wow.
that's awesome. Yeah, we can change our life if we change our mindset. That's
Yeah.
very important. So, and that's what she did.
That's
Thank you
good.
for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the question, Magda. But that part about cutting, like, it's like you got to self-evaluate your surroundings and kind of see if, okay, are these people around me really helping me get further? And it's not that we're in it because of the benefit. We're not in it because of that. It's not because of that. I don't want to say that either. That
Even moral
the
values.
benefit. Yeah, it's just the moral values, in the sense of, okay, is this person's moral values, okay, they might not be where I want it to be, but are they at least trying to improve? Are they doing the steps necessary? Or are they just going backwards? Because if not, we gotta cut out. We gotta cut, because that's something that is very important that we must do to make sure that we are going forward. Because that proximity, there's a saying in Spanish, te digo quién eres con quién andas, so someone wants to translate that one.
Tell me who you with, and I tell you who you are. That's
Exactly. There you go.
such an amazing saying, and I think I lived through that. You have to definitely analyze your circle and see where's the circle, and different buckets too, because doesn't mean, I have different buckets. I have, like Giselle said, I have high school friends. That's one of my bucket, and I love them. And when I'm with them, we just talk about things between ourselves. Then when I'm on my other bucket, which is my professional life, it's a different atmosphere. So I do have to adjust to each of them, but then decide where you want to spend the most time, because that's where the difference is going to come. I know,
Yes.
Cheryl, you have your hand up.
Yes, Cheryl, last question. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Sure. I know, Giselle, that you work with super top agents, and when I say that, it's luxury agent, people that like really, really, really high level agents. And I want to know if you can tell us the difference in their mindset between an agent who just starting or an agent who's been in the business for a while, from those luxury agent mindset. What separate their mindset with, I'm going to say, just regular agent?
It's so fun right now. I have a couple of fun things to say about this. Okay, so this is a wild story, so I'm gonna start with that because it's fun. I have a client of mine, love him to pieces. You know what he did one day? Es un loco, but I love him for it. He's like, you know what? Why not me? And he straight went into a neighborhood with $3 million homes and started knocking. And I'm not kidding you. He got a $3 million listing, brand new agent, didn't care.
Oh,
And
wow.
so he called me when he got it and I helped him and we blew it up. We did an event. We knocked on other doors. He got a second listing. He wasn't able to sell it, but I was proud of him because he just decided, why not me? And just as easily as I can get a $300,000 listing, baby, give me a $3 million listing and I'll figure it out. So there's something to be said for that, which is a lot of fun. And again, there's like no rules in our business. That's beautiful, right? And who cares? Fall forward. Who cares? Who cares if you knocked on a door and you embarrassed yourself? You're going to see that person again. Go to the next door, you know? So there's that. But I do want to say, you know, consistently, if you want to be a luxury agent, yes, there are things that you can do to set yourself up. And I think that, again, you have to be ready to play. You have to, you know, put yourself in a position to be ready to be relatable to somebody of that caliber, because I'm sure the person who was able to accomplish the goal of owning a $3 million home is a person that had a strong mindset, that pursued their goals, that woke up and went to the gym and went to go to school, and they did things that they knew that they had to do to get to where they wanted to go. So if you show up and you talk about mindset and you say, on Mondays, I do this mindset call and I do XYZ thing to pursue my goals, somebody of that caliber is going to respect that. So, you know, and then also learn the business, right? And if you want to break into something like that, you know, I always say, raise your hand. There's always people that are willing to help. So you could look up all the listings in expensive neighborhoods and call the listing agents and say, hi, I'm super interested in learning how you became a luxury agent. I would love for you to mentor me into that. Can I do an open house for you? Then you call Giselle your title partner, and then I go with you and we do a big old tiki, and you can build your name and maybe farm some buyers through that person's listing.
Awesome.
And you're helping the agent out. They're busy. They have things to do. Time is money for them, right?
Yes. Wow. That I love that. Why not me? Why not me?
Why not me?
What came to mind when you mentioned that, when you said that, fall forward, you know, do your thing, you know, just go ahead and push, is I was like, I think it was last week or so, I heard it, that you don't lose, you never, how was it exactly? You're not losing, you're never losing. You are always either learning or winning, one of the two, and you never lose. We never lose anything. We're always learning or winning. So that was a great way of.
And there's people in this business to help you, right? Because let's just say you're a new agent and you were able to stumble upon a $3 million listing. You don't think you have a mentor to call on? You don't think you have me to call on? You don't have a network of people that will support you through it?
That's so true. That's so true. That we sometimes get in our head. We get in our heads and it goes out the window. And then, but yes, it's true what you said. You just got to make the calls and have the proximity and start, you know, collecting and networking to make sure that you do have that work, and believe that you do have it. Just like this community, everyone has a community, the community here to plug in. Now it's about that time, almost wrapping up. I know, Wanda, you had your hand up. You just put it up right now. Go ahead, quickly. Go ask your question.
You're mute, Wanda.
You're on mute.
Sorry. No, I'm just saying, and that's great that she said that and about that, you know, you don't think of, but if you don't, if you're not part of a community, if you don't network, how you gonna know? Like how, when you get that opportunity, like where, you know, it might fall into your hands, but you say, what am I gonna do with this? You know, I don't know nothing, and you just let it go. And someone, another agent mentioned something like that the other day to me about $1 million home, and then that he was kind of, you know, he didn't know what, like where he was going because he didn't have the help and this and that, and you know, but I don't see him being part of, you know, this that we have available, that the classes that we take. I mean, what you mentioned, like, you know, you are available out there. I mean, let me call Giselle. She can help you with that $1 million home, or, you know, the mentor. There's always around us that can help us and can guide us if we if we are part of it, if we are here, if we know that we can, if we are part of the community, you will have that community helping you.
So we have resources.
Yes.
Only have to look
So
for
now
it.
you know, call that agent
Cool.
and tell her contact Giselle. That way she can help them out with that $1 million listing. So thank you. I want to thank everyone on the call today, everyone on YouTube, everyone
Right.
on the Zoom call. Thank you so much. If anybody, like during the calls for future reference, if they have any questions, please put them in the chat so we can go ahead and ask him on there. I want to first now thank Giselle. Thank you so much for all the insight. Thank you so much for your story. Thank you so much for sharing that and being transparent with us here, because it's very inspirational, and we love to hear stories like that to, help us move forward. And I really thank you for that, for everything you shared with us today and all the valuable information that you gave us today. So as we talked today, today was about setting your bar, about setting the bar. But the thing is that this reminded us that, that the bar you set is the limit that you're willing to accept for yourself. So you have to raise that bar. And then once you get there, then you raise it a little bit more, depending on where you want to head. But at the end of the day, it's about raising that bar for us and raising our standards, raising our moral values, because that's what's going to help us, for our future, and it's going to help us transform for the future when we're setting that bar and setting our standards for ourselves. So anyone has anything else to say before we wrap up today?
Oh, don't forget I know this is a YouTube live, but every Friday we have the Leadership Fridays at 8 a.m. So more than happy, if you guys want to be part of that, text us, we can send you the link. And we have now, I believe, Evolution Network in Spanish, right, guys? At 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m.
Yes.
Yes.
9 a.m. So you get both English and Spanish. So no excuses here not to work on your mindset and start your Monday in the right way. Today's a great day. No kids at home, guys. Celebrate. I will do that too. And let's go ahead and have a fantastic week, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
And share the link.
Thank you,
Share the
Giselle.
link.
Grateful. So grateful.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys so much for the opportunity today.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank
Giselle.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Monday.
Happy
Thank
Monday,
you.
Have a
everyone.
great week and
I
see
love
you
you,
on
Sandy.
Friday.
Awesome
All right,
week.
perfect.
Love you too,
Awesome
my
week.
dear.
Bye-bye.
Mwah.
Thank you, Giselle.
I love you all. Mucho, mucho, mucho amor.
Bye, guys.